For Creamer Media's Polity, I'm Shannon de Rehove. Brand-O-Vation and Linked Income CEO Dr. Nick Ebarrel joins me to discuss archetypal branding and its impact on the leadership race at Mangaung. Welcome, Dr. Nick.
Thank you.
Now, your latest article details the concept of the archetype and whether this brand equity could have any effect on the leadership battle at Mangaung. Can you tell us a bit more about archetypes?
Well, archetypes are really they've been called the magnets of the soul. Those are the ultimate personality types that actually go back to the Greek and Roman gods. And those are the personality types that we all relate to, that we resonate to, and that we trust. And that's really what it is about. It's about establishing that relationship of trust. And once you fit as a brand or as a personality, once you fit one of those archetypes, all of a sudden we relate to it very strongly.
Now, you state that each archetype holds both positive and negative connotations, with former President Thabo Mbeki being a prime example of this. Can you elaborate on that statement?
Well, that's actually very interesting, because what happened at the last Elective Conference in Polokwane in 2007 is that President Mbeki really allowed his opponents to portray him as the shadow archetype of the ruler. And the ruler is all about exerting control. It's all about power, and the good side of the ruler archetype is about creating a successful community. Unfortunately, obviously, he was branded as an autocrat, almost as a despot, and that really contributed to him losing votes.
Now, what archetype does President Jacob Zuma embrace, and how do you think this could help him at Mangaung, if at all?
Well, that's very interesting, because in the run-up to Polokwane, he very astutely allowed his opponents to brand him basically as a victim, which fits in very, very strongly with the country archetype or the country culture code of struggle. And he then aligned himself to the archetype of the regular guy, whose core desire is to belong and to connect with everybody being equal. That, I believe, was a key to his success in 2007.
You state that expelled ANC Youth League leader Julius Malema could almost be considered a master at the art of archetypal branding. Why do you say this?
Well, he instinctively fits in almost perfectly with the archetype of the outlaw. And the outlaw is all about breaking rules. The core desire of the outlaw is revolution or revenge. And in all his communication and his acts, he perfectly aligns with that archetype. And that's why he's got such a strong appeal to quite a large percentage of the population.
Now, Kgalema Motlanthe is expected to run against President Jacob Zuma at Mangaung, although nothing has yet been confirmed. What do you think this says about his archetype, and do you think it stands him in good stead?
Archetyping is all about, obviously, issuing a message and aligning your brand to that message. Now, by not doing that, by not communicating a message, by not even declaring his intent to run, Kgalema has really diffused his brand equity. At a stage when he was president, he could have really adopted the archetype of the sage and could quite strongly have built a brand around the sage, a brand of wisdom. Unfortunately, he didn't do that, and obviously that is now backfiring, with him apparently getting a lot less votes than Zuma.
Well, I suppose it'll be very interesting to see. We just have to wait until the 16th and then we'll know.
Yeah, well, I think it goes obviously beyond just collecting party votes. It goes very much like we've seen with the US elections and Barack Obama coming back strongly into the race as the creator, the archetype of the creator. So it will play a vital role in the run-up to the national elections in 2014.
Well, thank you so much for your input.
Welcome. Thank you.
That was Dr. Nick Ebarrel, Brand-O-Vation and Linked Income CEO, discussing archetypal branding at Mangaung.